Greetings and salutations, viewers and listeners. It has been a very long time since we have all been gathered live. We have been gathered, but in private, because we are shy. But no longer. We are back. For those of you who remember us, we are full coverage writers, but no more. We have fully transitioned over to Inspire the Muse LLC. That happened legally on April 1st of this year. And since then, we have been hard at work getting everything else in line for transitioning all of the old stuff over to the new and starting some new things and playing around like never before. So we thought we'd do this fun little quick video to kind of summarize what to expect from Inspire the Muse and how it's transitioned completely and fully from full coverage writers. So if you have looked at full coverage writers for anything new from us, you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to be waiting potentially forever. So get thee to all the new websites that we were about to discuss to check out all the new things we are about to talk about. Kicking things off is going to be Will, as he discusses our old series Game Break and how it has been brought into Inspire the Muse.
And before he does that, I'm going to lower my lower third because it's written on a piece of paper, because Google Hangouts is not consistent across all devices for some reason. So I'm going to put this down and let Will continue.
Yes. The one thing that has not transitioned between the two companies is technical difficulty shenanigans from Hangouts on Air. Will, take it away.
All right. So yes, we've brought Game Break with us from full coverage writers to Inspire the Muse, and I feel like we've improved it in a lot of great ways. Typical running time now is usually going to be about 30 minutes. That's what I try to stick to roughly.
Same here.
And for those not familiar with Game Break, it is our video game themed series where we play through and discuss the plot and creative inspiration that is behind and went into some pretty amazing video games, both regular video games and graphic novel style video games. Visual, graphic novel, whatever you want to call them, video games.
Some are more visual than others, some are more novel than others, some are healthy balance.
But we basically pick apart and analyze the plot, see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and a lot of times we go in blind, so we get a lot of good, fun surprises out of it. Right now we are updating every Tuesday and Friday. If you check in on Tuesday, you will see a video from myself. Right now I'm going through BioShock Infinite. I usually stick to the more traditional video games for now, with a few exceptions. And on Fridays, you'll get a video from Charles in one of the more visual novel-type video games, with his amazing voice acting.
As I discussed on other podcasts recently, if you want to be easily entertained, just check out the visual novels where I get stuck with way too many female voices.
Interactive storytelling at its finest.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So if you're looking for those videos, you can of course find them on our new YouTube channel, found on Inspire the Muse, which is our new YouTube channel. I'd list out the URL, but it contains a whole long list of letters and numbers, so if you just go to YouTube and search for Inspire the Muse, you should be able to find us. More importantly, you can also check out our main website, inspirethemuse.com, where we have under series the Game Break section, which contains all of our Game Break videos. And of course, we post all of our videos as well on our Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter channels. Facebook is Inspire the Muse LLC, Tumblr is Tumble the Muse, and Twitter is Tweet the Muse.
And just a very quick note, if you want to avoid typing in some 30-odd random characters on YouTube, we've decided to make it easier on you and just go to youtube.com/inspirethemuse.
Well, that works.
You can do the random characters if you so choose, but for the
it
others, we've given options.
It is a good brain exercise to remember all those characters.
My recommendation is just to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never have to worry about it again.
That does make it all the easier. Next up is going to be Justin to talk about some of our projects that have been archived and evolved, such as perhaps the new podcast and upcoming Muse food.
Yes, the old podcast I believe is still available for now, and I believe it will be for a little while
The Word
longer.
News podcast has been archived on Full Coverage Writers' website, and we have an archive post on Inspire the Muse for all 123 episodes, and it can still be found on iTunes if you so choose to check it out, by all means, because the content is still very entertaining.
And the not suitable for Word Ninjas, if you're still interested in that, then I don't believe that's on the archives, but it is going to be turned into a fun supercut in the future, where I'm going to pull out all the most embarrassing and awful moments from it and post it as one continuous video or audio, whatever I deem fit.
So about 90% of the content, then.
Probably. It's going to be a very long, 13-hour epic, rivaling that of some larger epic movies. But the main feature is our new podcast, which is admittedly a little bit similar to the old podcast, but it's also a little bit different. It's called Sparks to Life, and it highlights creativity and productivity and all the same stuff that you got from Word Ninjas, but with a wider breadth. It's no longer just about novels and writing. It's about all various artistic projects and endeavors and creativity and adventure. And we break it up into the first 7 episodes are broken up into 2 parts. There's the loose talking, where we just have a loose conversation about the topic and kind of play around with the ideas. And then the second half is actually a more defined, well-researched portion of the podcast, where we actually dig in deep a little bit into some articles. I know I'm particularly fond of some of the larger technical articles that I try to find and throw up there. But we do give summaries. I don't just read it verbatim on the air. That would be terrible.
We've never done that.
The one thing that we found that was missing from the Sparks to Life podcast was the thing that we loved about the Word Ninjas podcast, and that was just getting us all together in a room and talking about our lives. So we're going to add that as the opening segment to the new podcast as well. So you'll enjoy all of the updates of what we've been doing and what's been going on. So you'll get some professionalism on the back end and some, loosey-goosey chatting it up and derailments in the beginning segment, and then somewhere in the middle it'll transition where we actually talk about what we're supposed to be talking about. So that's very exciting. The new podcast is not live, and it's not video. It's strictly audio for now. We have some special plans in the future that I can't talk about now. The episodes are about 1 to 2 hours long, and they're posted on the 1st and the 15th of every month. You can find them by going to the website at inspirethemuse.com, click under podcasts, and click Sparks to Life. You'll see them all there. Or if you're like me and you prefer to listen to all your podcasts on your favorite podcast app, I found that you can actually search for Sparks to Life and subscribe there. And actually, the Sparks to Life podcast does come up if you search for Inspire the Muse under certain apps. So you can find us either way on that. And I believe you can find the Calvin, you might know more about this, but is there an RSS feed that they're able to steal from the website in any way yet?
Actually, the RSS feed is actually part of the website.
Hooray!
If you just go to take inspirethemuse.com/podcast/sparks to life and throw that in an RSS feed. That should work.
Beautiful.
And I just tested this by going onto my podcast app to search for the podcast, and it has popped up.
Everything is working as intended, which is probably a first for our company, new or old.
Yes.
That was part of the transition to make sure everything worked the way it should.
If not better. Well,
the hour it took for us to set up this feed.
Shh. And for any info, ideas, commentary on the podcast itself, you can always email us at contact@inspirethemuse.com. And that's about it for the podcast. Just for fun, I'm going to pick a couple random episode titles and kind of, tantalize you. We've got, let's see, Self-Taught versus Structured Education. That was a very fun podcast that we recorded where we talked about learning new skills online versus learning them in a classroom with guided instruction.
That was a good one.
And we've got the very recent one, the Adaptive Creativity, where we talk about how to deal with the fact that we don't have any time to be creative anymore. Or do we?
We don't, considering how long and how many attempts it's taken to get this recording out.
That is very true. This transition video it's a long time coming. And speaking of a long time coming, I know the one thing that everyone's going to miss about the Old Word Ninjas website is all of the references that we have for creativity, and that was mostly involved in what was called Muse Food, you may remember. I'm sure some of you listening have actually used that, and for your own special creative endeavors. And it is coming back. It's in the works. It is going to be a little bit newer and refreshed. There's going to be more categories than ever before. It's not going to be focused on just writing. We've kind of globalized it a little bit more. We have other things, involving cooking and recipes. We've got certain adventures. One thing would be go to your local coffee shop and order a drink you don't normally do. That is a type of, adventure inspiration that we'll be providing alongside all of the old topics that we used to know and love. And we'll be rotating through those, so you don't see the same type of prompt every time. So if you don't like the picture prompt, you won't have to see that every single week. We're going to be cycling through and mixing it up a lot, so that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to getting that up and running.
And that'll all be found on the website.
Ultimately, yes. It will all be on inspirethemuse.com. Not sure where it's going to go yet. Probably somewhere under series, I suspect. But we may have our own special place for it. But you'll definitely be able to find it on the website when it launches, and all of our social media, I'm sure, will pimp it out once it's live. Again, if you're missing it and you don't want to wait, there's always the old archive. All the creative prompts, they're not time dependent. You can definitely go back and grab any one of those and get inspired still.
And with that, it's time to transition to all of the new concepts that we've been playing with and are excited for, which Calvin is going to walk us through.
Yes, indeed. So we began to realize there's at least, in our everyday lives, there's at least one thing that piques our interest, whether it's scenery, a picture, a song that we heard either in passing or found on the internet, articles that we read. It's basically anything that gets us excited and inspires us in one form or another. What we've decided to do is take those pieces of inspiration and basically take time and talk about it in our own narrative form, whether it be a short paragraph or a long form. And because there's so many different things that inspire us, it couldn't be like there were so many categories that everything fell into. And one day we figured out that the best way that we realized that all these pieces of inspiration kind of fell into was we were all able to describe it in one word: a spark. And with that, every article that we put together that inspires us in our we put it together in our own narrative form, and we put it under the category of sparks. So this is something that we're pretty excited about because this is something completely open-ended and something that we can really have fun with. Just kind of riffing off of things that inspire us. I know one of the more recent sparks that was posted up was a YouTube video in remembrance of Robin Williams, and and how some of his best works like had a profound effect on CJ. And it wasn't an incredibly long post. It was, I believe, 3 paragraphs, but he also put up the YouTube video to show everybody what it was that inspired him. So this is what we're going to be doing to pass on to you guys what's been inspiring us. So this is something that we really hope you enjoy, and you can find it on our website, inspirethemuse.com, and click on Sparks in our top menu. And moving along to other things that are we're really excited about. We got something new coming down the pipe. I think we can kind of say this is and kind of an expansion on the Sparks topic, but more focused, specifically when it comes to going out and traveling to different places. Like, no matter where you go, there's always something that piques your interest. Whether no matter where you go to, you could go to like a museum, or I don't know, even a corner store or something that might pique your interest. But we're thinking bigger than local. So whenever we go to a new place that piques our interest and gives us that spark of inspiration, what we're going to do is document our experiences at those places and put it in a series that we're going to call Travelogue. And this one's going to be very open-ended, like just as Sparks are. We're going to be putting together short and long-form articles, and somewhere down the line, videos as well. So that's something that we're going to be, that's something actually like all of us in one form or another are working on at the moment. And so when that is ready, we'll be posting that on our website, inspirethemuse.com, under the series tab. Once again, that'll be called Travelogue, and we do hope you're excited about it as we are.
I know I'm excited to write for it, because I have a really good one that I want to get through this month.
Yeah, I have quite a few pictures from a more recent travel that has been on, and I'm really looking forward to trying to piece all the pictures together and form like a medium-length article about my experiences there.
And it turns out, oh, go ahead.
Because it wasn't just the experience of being there. It was the creativity that came out of it in the form of the pictures that I took while I was there. So that's something I'm really excited about sharing with you guys.
We look forward to seeing it.
It turns out that if you are a legitimate company, you can get some free swag every now and then when I hand out business cards and when I tell them I'm with a certain media company and we're writing an article on them. Maybe I push my weight a little around when I go to a brewery up in New Hampshire called Smutty Nose, and maybe they give me a few drinks here or there. Look, I'm not saying that I took advantage of the situation. I'm just saying that that's what they offered as me being a media connection, and I am writing an article about that as well. Obviously, when we get free swag, we'll obviously fully disclose that up front in the article. We do have integrity as authors and journalists to a certain extent. But what I'm really excited about is what Calvin was saying before is the Sparks posts. What's cool about this is that we're not just always aggregating from all these bigger sites like Reddit, and although I do get some of my inspiration from posts on Reddit. But what's really nice is that Calvin wrote a post quite a while back about these posters that NASA came up with, these retro-style posters. And this was what, like 2 weeks ago you wrote this article? This Sparks?
It was a little while back, but
yeah, about like 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, I just saw an article on it on Wired.com, like just yesterday. They've just got around to talking about it. So if you want the bleeding edge stuff that inspires us at the time, and not what's been distilled and shared through the entire internet sphere. Obviously we're not always going to be the first people to report on something, but the cool thing about being inspired is that we document it right away and try to share it with you.
And point of clarification, that was over 2.5 months ago.
Oh my God. And they're just getting to posting about it now. That's sick.
Oh, man. I almost feel like we can declare first on this one. Not quite, but...
Not quite. But I remember where I got the original links. So yeah, come to us for all your inspiration and see what inspires us. And really excited about the Sparks and the travelogue and all the new series that we have coming up on the pipeline. I know I'm working personally on a series called Mixtape, where I create mixtapes based on certain moods, and that's been a really fun process. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody as well. We've got tons of stuff coming up, lots of different series, lots of content. We're just bringing forward with the same amount of quality that we've always brought before, if not more. So that's really fun.
Hopefully more, because after 5 years we figured out just what works and what doesn't. And we have a little more free reign now that it's not just writing focused. Inspire the Muse is creativity focused. It doesn't necessarily matter what content or medium or format. And one thing that we have not covered off yet is events. We are still attending events as press, as vendors, as attendees, as people who get easily distracted by shiny objects. As Inspire the Muse, we are still attending Kineticon for this year, which is actually coming up very quickly, which is semi-disconcerting and semi-exciting.
Oh no.
Yeah. I know I'm really excited for it because of all the fantastic opportunities we're going to have as press and as vendors, and we're going to have all sorts of media coverage on that. And
strut out our new identity.
Yep. We're also pushing to do non-vendored events, either as press or as attendees, which means you're going to see more posts and content and media from us as we attend whatever events happen to intrigue us that we're able to make it to, be they other conventions or local book talks, or I'm trying to coordinate some interviews with various museums in the area to learn more about their curation processes and just what they offer up, which may actually go under travelogue depending on how that spins out. But we have a lot more free reign as Inspire the Muse, as we've mentioned on various recordings and various posts all across our various social medias in the past few months. And for those who didn't catch all of those links, we're going to wrap up with the main website, inspirethemuse.com. It is going to be the new repository of all creativity and inspiration that we provide and are given. So go there to find everything that we do. Anything that is posted on our social media accounts will show up there, and vice versa. If you want to find us over on YouTube, as Will and Calvin mentioned, youtube.com/InspireTheMuse, or search for Inspire the Muse and we'll pop up. If you want to go on Facebook, search for Inspire the Muse LLC, and you will find us specifically. We're also on Twitter as @TweetTheMuse, and Tumblr is Tumble the Muse. And contrary to all of the NSFW blogs that happen to follow us, we are actually relatively safe for work on Tumblr. So do not be fooled by some of the various bots that happen to be following our account. And it was mentioned previously as well, if you want to reach out to us for any reason, whether it be questions, comments, or if you have something that you would like us to check out, if there's some form of media that you've created that you want us to take a look at and discuss or comment or whatever, you can reach us via email under contact@inspirethemuse.com. And as we transition into this new company, we still hold on to some of the old things that made things so much fun, like you can find me very hard because, oh, that came out wrong.
Oh,
you can
boy,
find me, you will not be able to find me very easily because I run around like a headless chicken all the time. But if you wanted to give it a shot, your best bet is probably still my Tumblr account, which is fancypantswolf.tumblr.com. Where would people be able to find Will?
Most easily, you're able to find me on my personal Tumblr account as well. That is darkome.tumblr.com. But unlike our company Tumblr page, mine is usually NSFW. So watch out for that.
What about Justin?
Well, as per usual, I have lots of social media accounts that I don't really use, but the ones that I will plug will be the Twitter, which you can find me at JustinOnTap, and that's a fun pun on the fact that I like to use a typewriter and write, and I also drink beer, so that all works out very nicely. You can also find that name, Justin on Tap, around the internet because it's not really used except by me. So eventually when I throw up an account on Twitch again, where I will use Twitch Creative and do some fun stuff on that, you will find me at Justin on Tap as well. I haven't set that up account. I haven't set up that account as per this recording, but it should be set up in the near future, probably by this weekend. So look for me then.
And how about Calvin?
You will most easily find me on Twitter and Instagram at ccwii and on Tumblr at instacal.tumblr.com. My Tumblr page is, for the most part, safe for work. Mostly. It has its moments. But I'll tag accordingly.
Browse with caution.
Yes.
With that, thank you for everyone who's checked this out and who goes on from here to see all the crazy shenanigans that we get up to. And until we record again, go be creative. Go have some fun. And then talk to us about it so we can share. Bye.
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 Adios.